Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Welcome to Draft Week today on Mock Draft Monday here on Locked On Chiefs.
From the land of the free and the home of the Chiefs, this is the Locked On Chiefs podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. It is officially Draft Week, and we are ready to go. Our final Mock Draft Monday is about to start. We're brought to you today by Nissan. All you got to do is go check out the new 2025 Nissan Armada. Stay tuned for more Armada Player of the Week, who's going to be our final Mock Draft Monday Player of the Week later in the show. We're going to get to it. We're going to run maybe the most likely scenario if the Chiefs want to get a blue chip prospect, one that's on my board, and we'll go over it. This is Chris Clark from KC Chiefs Corner. He's that direction. I'm Ryan Tracy from NFL 33 and Rogue APC, more importantly, over there at ROGUEAPC.com. You can get the draft guide. You can get the athletic matrix, everything that you need to know for this draft on all the prospects that you're interested in are in that draft guide. Go get it and use the code LOCKED. It's LOC. It's not a full word. LOC will get you that discount. We have it all for you, and we will have breaking news for you over on our text line at 816-357-8781. Make sure you like, sub, hit the bell, do the thing. Check out another Lockdown show for your next one as we get ready, because this is the last Mock Draft Monday that we have. We're going to do a couple of scenarios for you this week. Today, we are being overly aggressive and going to our most Veach aggression point to go up and get the prospects that you want, need, and love. And we're going to get after it here on the Mock Draft Machine. So with no further ado, this is what the scenario looks like. We ran a few picks off of the board. Cam Ward went first. Shedeur Sanders comes off next. Travis Hunter comes off after that. A very possible scenario. A lot of reality here. Then we got a little twisted. A couple of things happened. Tackles, a little bit of an inversion there with a corner. Jahdae Barron going at number 9. So at 10, we decided we're going to try to trade up. As Armand Membo from Mizzou went off the board, we're going to try to make a move. What we have done is traded number 31 and number 66 up to the Tampa Bay Bucks at 19. We are getting 121 and 157 back. So we are down to 3 in the top 100, but we picked up a 4th and we picked up a 5th rounder. We can then jettison the 7th if we want to, or we can deal with that however we did. This is a pretty realistic cost, in my opinion. It doesn't feel outlandish to me.
I don't think the cost is outlandish. I think that maybe who's on the board might be a little outlandish, but we're playing with the simulator, and this is what we have. So here's what we're looking at.
And that's exactly what it comes down. We watched Ty Warren come off next to the Niners. Matthew Golden goes. Jihad Campbell goes. Will Johnson, much maligned. I think he may actually go lower than this, but he went here. Then comes the significance here. At 15 starts a 4-edge run with Jalen Walker, Shamar Stewart, Mike Green, and Michael Williams all going off the board in a row. And that's why we made the trade to 19. So we are sitting here with several blue chips on the board. I have 17 first-round grades. Walter Nolan is one of them. He's on the board. Malachi Starks is one of them. He's on the board. We have Donovan Azaraku. He's on the board. We have plenty, and it even comes down, if I can get my cursor over here and make it move, we even get down to not only Luther Burden, who I don't have as a first-round grade, but my one first-round grade at wide receiver is Emeka Egbuka, and he is on the board as well. So we have literally all of the top 3 needs that the Kansas City Chiefs could need available and on the board with a blue chip player on our board. What stands out to you in terms of a direction?
Man, there's so many different ways you can go right now. 2 top tackles still on the board. Josh Simmons, injury questions. Kelvin Banks, I still think he's a top tackle, maybe not a first-round pick. But at 19, you're sitting here and you have several different positions that you could look at as definite needs for the Chiefs in left tackle and defensive tackle, and you have guys that could fit both those, and I think it's really hard to argue with either of those, although I'm not going to lie, Egbuka in this offense would be a lot of fun, and I know it pissed a lot of people off with Burden sitting on the board, but is what it is. I think Egbuka would be better than Burden, but
I have a feeling, especially in this offense, I agree. because of three position versatility, in my opinion, not just what I think Burton's going to be a great slot, but I think he's only going to be a great slot. One other thing that I missed, Kenneth Grant is on the board as well. He is also a first-round grade on my board. So the rarest of air right here is Walter Nolan. He is my top defensive tackle behind Mason Graham. Mason Graham is kind of in his own class. So he is top there. Buka is the only first-round grade at wide receiver for me. So two blue chips, plus you have both Simmons and Calvin Banks at the offensive tackle spot. Both are two of the three offensive tackles I have with first-round grades. So do you go just with the rarest?
Here's my issue. Can Nolan play next to Chris Jones and start on a regular basis?
Yes. I have no doubt.
Okay. Then I don't think that there's a choice in the matter. The way I look at this is, to me, Simmons has injury questions. Banks is a little bit lower down on the board. I did not expect Walter Nolan to be sitting here. But if you think he can start next to Chris Jones and be just fine, because the reality is defensive tackle is not just defensive tackle. You do have specific techs. You do have specific areas that you are going to run guys. But if you think that both of those guys can coexist, then you're not having one out for the other. That's really what it would come down to for me.
Agreed. And this is a plus situation on the pass rush side specifically. You could draft Kenneth Grant, and he's going to play on first and second down as well as Derek Nottie will eventually. I mean, he'll have his rookie machinations as they all do. But in terms of providing pass rush, Nolan is the top of this interior defensive line class, and there is no doubt about it. So putting him with Chris Jones is the imperative in this group, even over the offensive tackle, which I have been like stomping the table for since the Super Bowl. You got to go offensive tackle if a blue chip's there. Nolan's rarer in this air than Josh Simmons is, as far as I'm concerned.
I'd say take Walter Nolan, and I'm going to say that we look at actually being very aggressive and coming back and seeing who's still sitting there at 30.
Okay. I'm going to slow this draft completely down. We're going to hit that, and we will make that selection, and I will pause as soon as humanly possible. And Emeka Buka goes off the board directly after us. That is clearly part of the scenario, but there are more picks to be had, and there's more work to do. We're going to get after it here right after this.
Did you know Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your pair controller, subscribe, or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed, as easily as you stream your favorite TV shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. With Wi-Fi 6/6E and auto low latency mode, advanced technology, Fire TV Stick 4K delivers smoother, more responsive gameplay with lightning fast speeds you need to stay competitive. With 4K streaming, watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribe services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and much, much more. Play high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. Already have a console? A Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take you or your kids' games wherever you plug in. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen.
We are back. Make sure you check everything at KC Chiefs Corner as well as NFL 33, and don't miss Rogue APC. It's draft week, and you got to get to know these prospects. Our draft guide will help you. Go there and use the code LOC. All right, we paused it. Emeka Buka goes directly after we chose Walter Nolan at 19 after a big trade up. I don't think, given that we have 63, 95, 121, and 133, I'm not sure we have the firepower to come back up into this round. Is that what you were trying to investigate?
I just want to see what's available.
Okay. Nothing much has changed to this point, so we're going to go super slow, and we will let it roll forward a couple of picks and see what happens. With Josh Simmons going, Ezaraku, Banks,
Okay,
Grant.
Banks. Yep.
and Starks.
Yeah. So at that point, I don't think that it really matters. I just was curious to see if Banks and Simmons still kept sliding.
Yep. And that would be the big interest, right? See if one of them did come down. But really, the guys that we were talking about being options all went directly after we did. So that seems to be the turning point. I'm going to let this go through, and we're going to get down to our next pick at 63 and see what the landscape looks like. Having accomplished this, one of the two big needs, I think that is a realistic trade value and a realistic option for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know that that's the way it'll fall down here, but it is certainly possible. Josh Connerly going the 40s here as we watch. I think that is a fallback position. Should they be stuck at 31, that's somebody they'd look at. Scadaboo. You know I like Scadaboo. I can't really get away from him. It's okay. Schlesinger goes at 55. Judkins at 57. I think that's very interesting. Ursery, who is a guy that I think not only have the Chiefs had in for a 30 visit, but I do think that they like his upside. He goes at 61. That's unfortunate there because there are not many tier 3 tackles on the offensive side that I think you would be terribly interested in. We can take a look at that. And it is Ozzie Trapillo next, followed by three guys that I think are at guard, and Cameron Williams, who I think is a developmental right tackle only. Omar Norman Lott, he's a guy that I think could be here for the Chiefs at 63 if the first round doesn't go the way that we just projected it. Dylan Sampson out there, interesting halfback, but Trayvon Henderson, maybe the best fit for this offense at the running back position would be an option here for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think they are more likely to do it than I am, but that's okay. Olufemi Oladojo, it will be available here is the thought. I'm not 100%. I have heard rumor that he might go in the top 50 based on upside alone, knowing that he played behind the Murphy brothers and Liatu Latu, and they think that he has barely scratched the surface with 1 year at edge. He does have a lot of tools at his disposal. Makuba is out here. I do think he's a guy that could play center field in our free safety type role for the Kansas City Chiefs. And there are the tight ends in the second tier are here, including Mason Taylor. I don't think that's reality, though. Do you?
No, I really don't think so. Man, the way I'm looking at this right now, I'm almost wondering, do you just go wide receiver? Corner, I mean, Morrison, I guess, but
I mean, a decent prospect. I don't know that he's enough to make me want to go do that right this second. Wide receiver. Royals, we've seen him mocked to the Kansas City Chiefs a lot because of his value here and because I do think he could be a fit. But let's not say that his level of competition is ready to jump him into a starting lineup anytime soon. I think that's a stretch.
Yeah, but a second-round pick in this offense doesn't have to start right away.
Correct. I'm 100% with you.
Would it be great to have a starter? But I don't think you're going to get a second-round prospect that's going to start at many positions for the Chiefs at this point.
I think you're absolutely correct. Tight end is where it gets really interesting. Mason Taylor is my number 3 tight end in this class, and he's still available here. He is a guy at LSU that I think has barely gotten the offense running enough to make his impact. And I'm a little bit surprised at the way that this has gone, that he is still available on the board with Arroyo off. I do have those two reversed, but I do have them both available right around this range. So is it too early for tight end is what I'll ask you.
I think so. With Wiley on the roster, plus you have Gray, unless you're getting a guy that you think can step in and replace Travis Kelce-ish in 2 years, I think it's too early for a tight end right now.
I think that's a fair bet. I will say this. The talent at offensive tackle gets a little thinner as we go beyond this. So if we are comfortable with where we are at left tackle, then I think we can go in another direction. How comfortable are you?
I'm not horribly comfortable, but the problem is you're reaching if you take one right now.
I agree. There's a trade back offer with the Bucs yet again to move back from 63. They don't have a whole lot to offer, and they won't give us their 84th. So it's a bit too far. Would we move back 9? Would you even entertain that from the Bears with very little additional value to give?
Probably not, unless you're getting a second next year.
I have to agree. So the best player on my board at this position that is available in this scenario is either Mason Taylor, the tight end, or Travion Henderson.
Oh, people are going to hate it, but I'll take the running back.
Okay. I'm not making that pick. I refuse. So that's the way it goes. Kyle Kennard goes next. Jalen Milroe finally comes off the board. Somebody that I thought the Chiefs might get offers on as a target at either 63 or even 31. You never know when that's going to happen. We are on our way down to 95, and we'll make the Chiefs' third selection here based on who is available and who is the board. But the bottom line is they have an impact blue chip player, one of the top 10 talents in this draft that we were able to acquire with a trade up in the first round. So while this may not be going the way that most fans want, this is a fairly likely scenario of trying to trade up. And as we come back onto the clock, we find that Oladejo, the edge, is still here. Andrew Makuba is still here, along with Latham Ransom. And the developmental right tackle that I told you about, Cameron Williams, is still on the board, as well as what I feel is a longer shot, but still a shot in Charles Grant, the tackle from William & Mary, who I feel is very, very raw, and I'm not sure a third-round grade is warranted, but I could see it from here. Then you have Ashton Gillott, the edge, as well, that ranks in here right about where I normally feel is appropriate for him. Devin Neal's not an option. Neither I don't think Giddens is either for the local running back talent now that we have Henderson on board. So what do you feel is the best maneuver here, boss?
Honestly, I'm almost feeling the edge at this point.
Which one?
Oladejo.
Okay. I personally would go Cam Williams, but that's understandable.
Why Cam Williams?
Rank, because I think he is still, with one major year at right tackle, I think he's a guy, if Jalen Moore works out, that when you go to replace Jawan Taylor, could be a guy that could step into the right tackle role and be a starter for you. That's why I bring that up. I do think he needs a year of seasoning, but I think that that's on the outside realm of possibility. Oladejo is a physical beast that I think would add to the pass rush pretty remarkably, though.
Well, I'm looking at the fact that Kansas City doesn't have enough pass rush, and if he's anything like what people think that he could be, that would be a huge win for the Chiefs to have another pass rusher of that caliber.
Makes sense. All right. Olufemi Oladejo on to the roster. When we get back, we're going to go down to 121 with the Chiefs' next pick, and we will make our next selection. The Armada Player of the Week is brought to you by our friends at Nissan and the 2025 Armada, right now, all new. Each week, we're taking a look at one of our favorite draft picks, our prospects that we think could fit to take the Chiefs to the next level, take them forward on to next season, and try to make another Super Bowl run. This week's Armada and clear-cut Player of the Week is no other than Walter Nolan, who we just selected in this draft because of what he does specifically in the pass rush. If nothing else has taught you that it's not enough just to have Chris Jones, it is the interior pass rush. Turk Warden stepping out from time to time. They need somebody to replace some of those reps and get to the quarterback. He's heavy duty, just like the Armada is, rugged, and he can conquer the road just as well as the Armada. When it comes to the Nissan Armada, you have to go forth and conquer, and that's what this selection does, and that's exactly what I think we've done here. It's clear that our Player of the Week is out there to get ready to conquer the road ahead with confidence, just like you can with the all-new Nissan Armada and all of our other outstanding vehicles. Take the Nissan Armada, the Rogue, the Pathfinder, and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. We are back here. Make sure that you are checking everything out Chris is doing at KC Chiefs Corner. My stuff on NFL 33, including my draft board, which is available in a horizontal format. Everybody on there draftable. You can have it for free at NFL 33. Go check that out. We're back on the clock here at 121, staring down some options. A lot of quality players have gone off in the third. It is a very thick round is the best way I can describe it. We did see Damian Martinez, running back that a lot of folks like in Kansas City. Makuba, all lasted to the fourth round along with Bassa, Harold Fannin, and my guy Ashton Gillott from Louisville. Kobe Bryant goes off the board, though. I thought we might have a chance at him at 121. We did not. Mello Dotson goes at 116. He is also off the board. And Jacob Parrish, the corner from K-State, goes off just 2 picks ahead of us at 119. We are on the board with some wide receiver here, some halfback power. Halfback speed is a better way to put it. And some more edge here with Savion Jones available, Jamari Caldwell available. You can get some pass rush there, but we've done pretty good acquiring pass rush now with Walter Nolan up first, the running back Trayvon Henderson, and then come back with Olufemi Oladejo on the roster. So for me, I think this is a pretty good time that if we don't like the backup tackle, the developmental offensive tackle prospects like Logan Brown, like Chase Lunt, I think we can probably open it up and go offense here. Whether you want to go a Kyle Williams, who I think can play a role in this offense, but I do think he needs time. We have Torrey Horton.
How much time?
How I feel about him. A season. I don't know that he'd be ready to contribute significantly by the playoffs. And that's kind of what I gauge where somebody can go. I actually have Torrey Horton above him. He is also available. Tesla, a lot of folks have been talking about him lately. I don't see the fit as very stupendous to me, but it's in there. We could come back and go D-line some more with Ty Robinson's on the board. Billy Bowman's in there, safety that can do a little bit of everything. He's undersized, but he can get some things done. Riley Leonard, if you want a backup quarterback, I can't recommend that, but a lot of folks have been talking about backup quarterback lately. So anything stand out to you that you'd like to accomplish?
At 121, I think that anything is really on the board at this point. You're looking at guys that are going to contribute probably more in year 2 than they're going to contribute in year 1. Mm-hmm. You've already got a running back. You've already got a defensive tackle. You've already got a defensive end. I'm thinking that you would probably be focused on the offensive side at this point, unless there was a corner that was sitting there that you just had to have. So to me, I would think that it would be tackle, which doesn't seem to have really the value here. Or a wide receiver of some sort.
Makes sense. Let's take the top one. His name's Kyle Williams from Wazoo. Welcome to Kansas City. We're going down to 133 and getting back on the clock here with Howard going. Pegas goes. Barrett Carter off the board. Savion Jones goes. Jack Kaiser and Riley Leonard, as we just talked about. Now they're back on the clock. We have one trade offer back. It's 6 picks, and we could only pick up 187 from the Vikings. They don't have many picks. I might even throw them the 250s, but I don't think they're going to go for it. So what stands out to you here with, again, more halfbacks, some wide receivers, and some lower-level edges on the board, but Ty Robinson is still here.
You know how I feel about double-dipping at the defensive tackle position.
Yep.
The only reason I wouldn't take Ty Robinson in this draft, honestly, is because we've taken him so much. But I don't think that's a good enough reason not to take him.
Fair enough. Let's see who else is out there just to make sure that I'm not ramrodding this thing. Tonka Hemingway will be available later. I do like Riley Mills later, maybe with the next pick if you wanted to try to roll the dice there.
No, I think... I mean, the tight end, I didn't see anybody that really is sticking out there either, and you're still sitting here with the same tackles.
Yep. And I think 133 is a viable spot for Logan Brown from Kansas. A guy that has enough athleticism that I think could grow into a role, but he is, I'd say he's farther along than Ethan Driscoll was, but he's not quite as far along as Kingsley Suamataia was.
Yeah, and Driscoll's the odd one out here because they kept him on the roster for a reason, and it's going to be something I'm really going to be curious what he can be in year 3, not necessarily even year 2. What can he be in year 3?
That makes a lot of sense.
If there's not somebody that sticks out that is yards ahead of where you think that they are at this point, then I don't think there's any reason to continue going down the tackle path. I think probably defensive tackle and go.
Okay. I like that. I'm just looking for a secondary trade here. If we gave up 157 and the 250s, we could get back to 139 with the Vikings. Would you want to do that? Reduce this draft class?
Yep.
Okay. I will do that first. That was accepted. We are still on the clock. So you said defensive tackle, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I'll just, for the giggles, not take Ty Robinson, and we'll take the next guy down.
Oh, you're killing me here.
Okay, fine. We'll take him. Fine. I'm
You've been
trying not
talking
to.
about him so much. I'm just sitting here
I have.
going.
He's such a fit. Done. Okay. Ty Robinson on the board. The Nebraska edge / DI. I think he can do a little bit for you. We're back on the clock. First pick of the 5th round. We have this and 226 left. And we have a lot of the same players with Trevor Etienne, Billy Bowman, Tyler Batty, some offensive linemen on the interior. Jalen Reed, a lot of folks like him. Logan Brown is still here as an offensive tackle. Let's see. Tyrion Ingram Dawkins is a really, really interesting edge. I don't think he has a clue what he's doing yet, but he is one of the more athletic. I think he's Matrix 3 for this edge class.
Yeah, but if he doesn't have a clue what he's doing, I don't think that's going to fly. Okay. Athleticism can get you so far. And don't forget, they still have another player coming back that they didn't have at all last year at edge as well. So
true. Hopefully his heart is back to normal.
That is the hope.
So what stands out to you? Mickens is, I think this is getting close. This might be a little early for Mickens in terms of a 5th safety. Don't know that he'd make the roster there. Would you want more weapons in Isaac Tesla? Urasek, the Georgia tight end. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but you could see it from here. Are you thinking weapon or are you thinking defense?
With 2 defensive tackles and a defensive end, I'm okay with going weapon. Is there anybody that sticks out to you at the wide receiver position?
Well, my guy Torrey went 3 picks ago, unfortunately. A lot of folks are happy with Tesla. I think it's a reasonable roll of the dice here in the 4th round. Urasek could be a tight end worth exploring, and I do think there was one other tight end I liked. Where did he go? Mitchell Evans. Mitchell Evans is a Notre Dame tight end that has followed not only Michael Mayer, but now Brock Bowers, and has been productive. I don't think he's elite, but I think he's a guy that could fill in a role for the Kansas City Chiefs as a more of an all-around type, since they did miss out on any of the true pass-catching threats. Trying to look if there's any other weapons specifically at wide receiver. Returners are a tough one because Dante Thornton would probably be the top pick here, but this is like a round and a half to overdraft by my estimation, and nearly so much as it is for PFF. So that's a bit of a stretch, but we could do it.
No, are there any corners that have the ability to do it that wouldn't be a huge overdraft?
Let me take a look at that.
Or running back.
I mean, Henderson is a guy that could return kicks. That's for sure. That is not something that bothers me. You want to avoid injuries
outside the box.
Yeah, sure. Longer beam is a guy that fits the Kansas City Chiefs type. Quincy Riley's kind of crafty. I like him as well. Then you get into the Nico Reeds of the world and things that should be available at 226. So I would think that it's longer beam. Mickens if you want a safety, or I would just go with Tesla.
Go with Tesla.
Wide receiver on the board, Isaac Tesla. We're going down to 226 for our final pick. We've run pretty long here, folks. But as this goes, I do want to remind you, you can get all the information you need for this draft over at rogueapc.com. Please check that out. And please, tons of people have been buying the draft guide this year. Use the code. It gets you a discount. Please use it. I put it out there to reward you for rewarding us for being so loyal, and I very much appreciate it. So please use that. We're on the board now at 226. Mickens is still here, as is Jalen Reed, as is Jordan Hancock, and Craig Woodson. There's like a run of 4 safeties available here that could play teams for you, that can show you something in one facet or another, whether it's run support, whether it's split safety work. I don't think there's a single high in this group, including Malachi Moore, who's played a ton of snaps at Alabama. But we know how Alabama DBs go. I think the guy that really piques my interest here, maybe more than most, is Smail Mondon, the linebacker from Georgia, who can play all 3 positions for them and has done for the last 3 years. Teddy Buchanan is a linebacker from Cal that is quick, fast, and in a hurry. And if you don't spend a first-round pick on Carson Schlesinger, he is the next best guy in terms of that kind of run all over the field and play coverage. And I do like his fit, not only as a nickel guy, but as a coverage linebacker that can grow into a role.
I would say take whoever you think the best pick is at this point that is going to fill in at teams, because you're not probably going to get a starter. You're going to get a back-end player that is going to fill in a core special teams role at this point.
Okay, Teddy Buchanan, welcome to the Kansas City Chiefs. Folks, that is our aggressive Brett Veach aggression session. We started by trading up for Walter Nolan. We came back at 63 with Travion Henderson. Yeah, hey, it's like it's a good pick. We came back with Travion Henderson at 63. We stayed at 95 to get Olufemi Oladejo, the edge from UCLA, also an A pick according to PFF. We came back at 121, which was one of the picks we acquired and trade down for Kyle Williams, the wide receiver from Wazoo. Then at 133, Ty Robinson joins the Kansas City Chiefs, and we come back at 139 with a trade up. Isaac Tesla, the wide receiver, joins us from Arkansas, and Teddy Buchanan rounds it out, the linebacker in coverage and special teams at 226 from Cal. Overall, this is the first time I've gotten an A grade from PFF. I don't know if I like that or I don't like that, but it's the first time it's happened.
Yeah, well, with Walter Nolan at the first, I think you have to feel great about that pick. I don't care that you gave up what we gave up to go get him. I think that you still get a A-plus player, and you're in a situation where you have the ability to really help that interior pass rush, which is exactly what you need.
I like it. I like it. I think we've done a good job. Let us know what you think. How would you grade this out? Let us know on the YouTube comments. Post your thoughts, feelings, and desires right there. We're going to do another one of these tomorrow. We're going to have Matt Derrick on Wednesday. We'll have a final mock run-through, updates, board changes, anything that affects as we go into Thursday. We'll have that for you the night before, so don't miss it. Make sure you like, sub, and hit the bell. Thank you for being with us. We're going to do our best to walk you through. We'll have nightly recaps of the draft, and we'll get it all done for you. Thanks for being with us. We'll talk to you tomorrow.